a great deal of excitement and pride because their child is sitting up by themselves. If not for the first time, for a functional amount of time.
I explain it to parents like a supportive undershirt because some of the other types of terms seem that the parents get a little bit nervous, but when I explain it kind of like a supportive undershirt that they can wear under their clothes, and the fact that the parents don't have to see their child looking different with everything on the outside, it is something that they can use underneath, kind of like, you know, and you can make it fun for the kids.
I just sort of explain the philosophy to parents and ask them to try it and see what happens. And often when I put it on, they'll see a change in their child and then they're sold on it. So I think that parents are looking for ways to help their kids, and even though it sounds different and it looks different, once they try it and they see changes, they tend to be positive about it and they buy into the idea and see that it works.
Most of the parents that I've worked with, they want to know where they can get it because they see that it benefits the child and they want to buy it themselves.
And the other reason why I like it very well is that it's easy for the parents to put on. And you don't get anything used that isn't easy to put on.
Absolutely, number one, my parents love it, and it's easy for them to put on the child, and its compliancy is over the top.
One parent told me that it was easier for her to carry her child when she had her SPIO on, so to me that was it was like a bell going off that, wow, she's supported more with this on and she's using her muscles to hold herself up while her mom carries her.
I've talked with other therapists and they're just like, oh, well, you know, what kind of compliance do you have from families to use it? And I mean, I've not experienced any problems with that because as soon as they put it on and they see the difference, it's not a problem. And it's not overwhelming to use, you know, I mean, because it's really easy to use with the Velcro and everything. And once the kids put it on, they love it.
My personal bias is that I fell in love with them when they were no longer custom, but off the shelf, because I work with all levels, socioeconomic status, and so acquiring them can be difficult for some families, and now it's not a barrier any longer.
I've seen many insurances pay for it. Most will pay at least most of the cost, and then there'll be a deductible. Medical coupon tends to pay for them in full, and then I've had parents pay out of pocket for them if need be.
I think it's very affordable. So far, I haven't had no trouble with getting coverage from the insurances. Again, it does take a little bit of effort on the therapist part of writing letters, but so far I've had no trouble getting them covered.
One of the children on the spectrum, the first day they put it on him, he spoke more than he had ever done so before, and a few days later they sent him home with it on, and his home therapist and parents were so thrilled, again, they wanted to buy it immediately.
I put the child in the suit, they wore it for maybe 2 weeks, and then they began walking independently. And you know, the very first goal the parent wants the child to meet is to walk. To be able to walk in, this child did that.
He doesn't have a diagnosis, but if you take the diagnosis of cerebral palsy as sensory motor dysfunction, he would fall in that category. Pretty severely involved, and when we put the shirt, long sleeve shirt, and the long pants on him, he has a little wooden chair like the old school desk type of chairs. We sat him on it and he just sat there for a minute or 2 minutes. Mom brought a pinwheel over and he started reaching out for the pinwheel, and Mom just about started crying.
I tried it with a boy who was 10 years old with mild athetoid CP, and I tried him in the SPIO vest, and if he was here he would tell you that he thought that he stood taller and that he walked a little bit with tighter muscles, as he said. But I actually have that same boy now in SPIO pants, and I had his one-to-one run down to find me to show me how fast he's now moving on the stairs, and he asked me to buy him a pair of SPIOs.
It was a 2-year-old that had been receiving speech since he was 5 months old. Speech therapists have been working with him twice a week. I started seeing him about 4 months ago. We ordered him the pressure garment, and he had no words. And when we put the pressure garment on, he started talking. I mean, it was immediate. And when he doesn't wear the pressure garment, he doesn't talk. He's a real big toe walker also, and he just really doesn't have any idea where he is in space, and that deep pressure helps him come together, get really organized and focused. Without the pressure garment on, he's running all over the place. When that's on, he slows down, comes together, and then he starts talking.
If you work with children with neuromotor problems, children with low muscle tone, children with sensory processing dysfunction, you have to give it a try, because it's one of the adjuncts that I talk about in the courses that I teach, that I think works effectively as an adjunct to our therapy.
I would say to absolutely go online, check it out, read the testimonials, and I would say that it's going to not only make the child's life happier, but also maybe your life as a parent a little bit easier, because your child's more comfortable, and that's less stressful for both you and your family.
You just have to try it. Trial and error. I can't imagine it's good for everyone. It's what nothing is good for everyone, but trial and error, try it.
Then as I tried it and got used to it and understood the way that the fabric moves with the kids, I became sold on SPIO, and so I think it's worth exploring for any therapist. It's changed a lot of the kids that I work with.
They have to try it, absolutely. No doubt about it.